Hey, Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I'd like to thank you for all your years of support through the years. As a result, this channel has grown and allowed me an equity partnership in carmarshal.com. Please take the time to check them out. They help you buy and sell your next car, even have a negotiating tool to save you from the hassle of haggling with multiple dealers. The link is in the description below. Please click and help support and give if you can too through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks again.
And it was hard. It was hard. It took me a long time just to get somebody to believe. Once I was incarcerated, it took me a long time to find somebody to finally believe that, this happened to me. That the police, something did happen. And like he, like Wolf said, once the investigation started and as Detroit, they took it upon themselves to reinvestigate, which I totally appreciate, and they got it right. They got it right.
This is a rhetorical question. I apologize, but what was prison like for you? What was
It's
your
hell.
experience?
It's not a good place. It's the most abnormal environment ever created on earth. So you have to understand there is no good days. It's all bad. You just have to make the best of bad. And that's what I did. I had to learn that, I was, in the beginning, like you said, in the beginning, I was bitter. I was mad, I was angry. Then my mother passed, and I gave a lawyer some money, and he subsequently ended up, just disappearing with the money. So at that point, I was locked in. There was no way out. So at that point, it was like, I just turned into a savage, because that was the environment. And there, it's not a good place in there. It's not a good place. So I adapted, and I persevered, and once I got myself together, everything starts and stops with self. And once I got myself together and got over the bitter and the angriness, God, I prayed every day. I prayed every day, but it seemed like God didn't hear me until 2008. But at that point, my life was different. I was changed. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't angry anymore, and I knew that once that crime lab closed, that was my out. That was the key to get me, to be sitting here talking to you people today.
Did you keep hope the whole time?
I mean, it's hard to keep hope when you lose your mother and all the money, all your resources and your assets, everything just disappears. But I knew that my most motivating factor was I didn't want to die in there. That was the thing that kept me going. I did not want to die in there, and I was going to do everything I could to get myself to this position that I'm in right now, and I never stopped. And Claudia Whitman, who Wolf mentioned earlier, referenced earlier, she was the instrumental part in the beginning. She was the first person to say, okay, I'll look at this for you. It took me some convincing and talking to her, a couple of months to explain it to her and break it down to her. But once she said she would help, I just bombarded her with all the paperwork. And it's one thing to tell a person something. I can sit here and talk to y'all all day, but if I'm showing you in black and white, this is what's done to me, and this is not right. And when you see this and you understand what you're looking at, and you see it's not right, then good things can happen. Then the change will, then the gradual process of change can take place, and that's what happened.
But one of the things he's mentioned is he got over the bitterness and became laser focused on getting himself out.
Yes.
Not dying in prison, so he could see his daughters,
Yes.
so he could see his family, and it's that perseverance and that laser focus on moving forward that resulted in him being here today.
Yes.
And Akila you spend 25 years without your father. She lost her mother. That's with children who've never seen Desmond before, and it's such a loss and harm to community. Everybody loses when you have a wrongfully convicted person.
Yeah, can you talk about, I mean, this is not an easy thing to do in a room like this in front of all of us, but give me a sense of the loss that you feel might be perhaps made up with some of this?
I mean, I can never get the loss back. The loss is the loss. I just have to make sure that I do everything in my power as a man, and as a father, and a grandfather, and a brother, uncle, great-uncle, great-great-uncle. I just have to make sure I can be the best person I can be every day for them, to teach them that, bad things happen to good people sometimes, but you just have to keep moving. We can't let this define us or just stop us from living. I didn't know my daughter, but every day more and more I'm learning my daughter, understanding her, you know, her likes and dislikes and stuff like that, things I can do, I can't do, you know, because, you know, I had to get that jail mentality off of me because that was stuck to me for a long time. And I have to understand that this is not jail, I'm free now. But once I got that, you know, in my mind, and doing different things, different ways, you know, it's a process. It's a process. And I'm persistent the same way I was persistent, like you said, and dogged to get myself out. I'm the same way as being the best person I could possibly be from this point on.
You know, it's interesting when we talk about losses, they stole the sweet spot of all of our lives, our mid-20s to 50. He went in at 26, came out at 51. We have children, people get married, kids graduate high school, daughters and sons get married, grandkids come. He missed all of that. They stole all of that, the sweet spot period of our lives. And now he has 28, 30 years left to try to make up for all of those things that were taken from him. And that's to his credit, he's positive.
You have to understand, I was 26 when I went in there, so it's like a 26-year-old person inside of me that still wants to hang out and do different things, but I have to understand that, you know, I'm not 26 no more, I'm 51. You know, I'm somebody's grandfather, so it's not like when I go out and when I present myself and I do certain things, I'm not only representing myself, I'm representing my family. So I'm gonna be, like, once again, the best person I can be for them first, and then myself, and then everybody else.
Akila, can you talk a little bit about that, how this ordeal kind of affected you growing up, and then also what it's been like rebonding with your dad now?
Growing up, I'm not gonna say, well, I'm gonna say adapt to it. You adapt to it. It's not a hard adaptation, but it's hard. Losing my mom, I went through from 7 years old up until maybe I was about 16, I felt like he did it. I felt like whatever was going on, whatever I heard, you did it. That put emotional distress, that put a huge effect on our relationship. I didn't speak to my father for about 5 or 6 years straight in jail. He kept a relationship with my sister, and that was good enough for me. When I lost my mother, and before I lost my mother, she asked me to, you know, mend with him. Some people are at the wrong place at the wrong time, is what she always told me. So I did do that, and I talked to him over the phone, and we grew a better relationship. And now that he's home, it's not hard, but it's different. You know, it's really different. Seeing him, the last time I saw him face to face like this was when I was 7 years old. I'm 32 years old now with 6 kids, and it's like, okay, I lost my mother, and in replace of that, I get my father now. It's like I have a newborn baby all over again. He's a baby. He's been locked up for 25 years. All he knows is when someone has to tell him to eat, when someone has to tell him to do this, do that. And it's hurtful the way, you know, things turned out, but it's gonna get better. It really is. I think my main thing is now that I was angry before, and I'm not, but I just can't imagine who else is in jail that's going through this. Even though that I'm not dead or I don't have anything bad going on, what about the other people that are going through this, that are going through a rougher time, that was wrongly convicted and snatched away and stolen away from their lives, from their family lives and their own lives? So it's a good adaptation. It's hard, but we're gonna get there. It's hard. It's a baby all over again, but it's a good thing.
Did you ever feel, and this may be me projecting, but I had a parent in prison for a while, and I sort of felt like, you know, almost blame or guilt, like I did something.
I did feel that way because I felt that way after I had my first child. When you have your child, there's nothing that you wouldn't do for them. So I figured when you have kids, you're out there. You know, it's different communities, different places, different type of ways people make money, all different type of, you know, it's different type of things. So I looked at it as, okay, were you?
Wrongfully convicted man files $125 million suit against Detroit police over faked evidence. Desmond Ricks leaned against a wall as his family, many of whom he was just getting to know, milled about him. They cooed over Rick's newborn great-nephew, Juan Jr., and made small talk about the fit of a good suit. The chatter, light-hearted and casual, was the type typically expected at a family get-together. but the reason for this reunion was anything but carefree. In June, after 25 years in prison, Ricks was exonerated for a murder he did not commit. Now free, getting reacquainted with a family he barely knows, Ricks is grateful but also still seeking justice. On Thursday, Ricks and his family gathered in a nondescript Farmington Hills office suite where, with the help of attorney Wolfgang Mueller, they filed a $125 million civil rights lawsuit. Seeking compensatory and punitive damages under federal and state law, the lawsuit names the 51-year-old and his two adult daughters, Akilah Cobb, 32, and Desire A. Ricks, 25, as plaintiffs. Desire A. was only 5 days old when her father was arrested for the murder. Akilah was 7 years old. As defendants, the lawsuit names two retired Detroit police officers, David Poch, the evidence technician on the case, and Donald Stoyas, the officer in charge of the investigation that led to Ricks' wrongful conviction. The lawsuit argues that the duo framed Ricks by fabricating bullet evidence, swapping out the bullets taken from the victim's body with bullets test fired from a gun belonging to Ricks' mother. I was fighting from the beginning. When I was arrested, I knew I wasn't guilty. I just had to convince the police of this, which I shouldn't have had to do, but that was my job at that time. They weren't seeing it any other way, said Ricks at the news conference, noting that prison was hell. It took me a long time, once I was incarcerated, to find someone to finally believe this happened to me, that the police did something. Desmond Ricks, Center, spent 25 years in prison for. Desmond Ricks, Center, spent 25 years in prison for a murder he didn't commit. Ricks sits with his family at August 24, 2017 press conference announcing a civil suit against the cops that framed him. Photo, Ali Gross. In March 1992, 21-year-old Gary Bennett was fatally shot while standing outside of a burger joint in Detroit. Bennett's friend, Ricks, was arrested in connection with the crime 2 days later. A .38 caliber revolver, kept under the pillow of his mother, Mary Ricks, was confiscated. The case against Ricks rested heavily on the evidence of the gun and the bullets inside, which the prosecution by way of the Detroit police investigation claimed matched those removed from Bennett's body. Poch, one of the defendants in the recently filed civil lawsuit, testified as an expert in ballistics, stating that the two bullets in evidence were fired from Mary Ricks' Rossi .38 special handgun and from no other weapon. He claimed that the bullets that killed Bennett matched Ricks' mom's gun like a fingerprint. Join now for as low as $9.99/year. Subscribe now. Stoyas furthered the conspiracy, according Ricks' attorneys. They allege that Stoyas provided the bullets test fired from the Rossi handgun to David Townsend, a court-appointed expert and retired Michigan State Police firearms identification expert. When Townsend questioned whether the bullets were actually from the victim's body, Stoyas assured him that they were, a news release from Mueller law firm explained. In closing arguments, the prosecution stressed the importance of the ballistics evidence, calling it the most powerful evidence in the case. This gun that killed Gary Bennett was found at his house, the prosecutor declared in closing arguments. In September 1992, a Wayne Circuit Court jury convicted Ricks of second-degree murder and illegal use of a firearm. He was sentenced to 30 to 60 years in prison. The Detroit Police Crime Lab, which helped in Ricks' conviction, was shut down in 2008 after an audit performed by the Michigan State Police highlighted sweeping errors in ballistics testings. But Ricks remained in prison, his appeals denied. "My most motivating factor was I didn't want to die in there," Ricks said. "That was the thing that kept me going. I didn't want to die in there, and I did everything I could to get myself to this position I am in now. I never stopped." In 2015, the University of Michigan Innocence Clinic, which had been working on the case since 2012, obtained photographs, through a Freedom of Information Act request, of the actual bullets that came from Bennett's body. The clinic sent the photos to Townsend, the court-appointed ballistics expert from Ricks' 1992 trial. Townsend gave an affidavit asserting that the photos did not show the same bullets Stallias had given him. As a result, the Innocence Clinic got the case reopened. In April 2017, a Michigan State Police firearms expert revealed that the bullets seen in the photograph were classified differently from the ones that would have come from a .38 caliber handgun, a news release from the Mueller firm stated. This case, on its surface, should have never even gotten beyond the test shot phase. That's what surprises me the most, said David Balsa, a retired Michigan State Police detective who helped to shut down the Detroit Police Crime Lab in 2008, and was retained as a ballistics expert for Rick's case. It should have been dismissed the day they took the test shots. A month after the Michigan State Police testing, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office joined the defense in a motion to vacate Rick's convictions and to release him. All charges were dismissed on June 1. On May 26, Ricks returned home for the first time in 25 years. You have to understand, I was 26 when I went in there, so it's like there is a 26-year-old person still inside of me that still wants to hang out and do different things, but I have to understand I am not 26 anymore, I am 51, Ricks said, noting how much he had missed out in the years he had been wrongly incarcerated. Getting out means also rebonding with family members, like daughter Akila Cobb. From 7 years old, up until maybe about 16, I felt like he did it, said Cobb, now 32, noting the impressive and enduring impact incarceration has not just on those behind bars, but family, friends, and the community as well. That put emotional distress on me and had a huge effect on our relationship. I didn't speak to my father for about 5 or 6 years straight while he was in jail. Cobb, a mom of 6, said readjusting to life with her dad is special but also difficult. It's like I have a newborn baby all over again. He's a baby. He's been locked up for 25 years. All he knows is when someone tells him to eat, when someone tells him to do this, do that, it's hurtful the way things turned out, but it's going to get better, she said. I was angry before, and now I am not. I just can't imagine who else is in jail who is going through this. What about the other people who are going through this that were wrongly convicted and snatched away, stolen from their lives? Following the release of Ricks, Detroit Police Chief James Craig said the department would conduct an internal investigation into the 1992 case and how it was handled. A Detroit police spokesman declined to comment on the case but noted that both officers are no longer with the department. Under the Wrongful Imprisonment Compensation Act, a bipartisan bill that was passed in December, ex-heirs are eligible to be paid $50,000 for each year they were wrongly incarcerated, as well as the attorney fees they incurred during the litigation process. As Ricks was incarcerated for 25 years, he should be eligible to receive $1.25 million from the state. Still, a civil lawsuit against the officers who helped put Ricks behind bars felt necessary for the man who spent 25 years of his life the sweet spot of his life, as attorney Mueller put it in a cage. I lost, I can never get the loss back. I just have to make sure I do everything in my power as a man, as a father and grandfather, and a brother, uncle, great-uncle, great-great-uncle, said Ricks. I just need to make sure I can be the best person I can be every day for them. To teach them that bad things happen to good people sometimes, but you just have to keep moving. You can't let this define us or stop us from living. According to a 2016 analysis by the Associated Press, Michigan has released more wrongly incarcerated prisoners than all but 4 states. There are so many people in prison now who don't belong there because of the conduct of the crime lab and the Detroit Police Department, said Mueller, noting that the statutes of limitation mean criminal charges can't be pressed against the 2 retired officers. I think in 2017 under Chief Craig the Detroit Police Department is much better and things have improved leaps and bounds, but there are still people serving 25-, 35-, 45-year sentences, who may never get out, based off Detroit police misconduct. Contact Ali Gross, aegross@freepress.com.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I found that I had to make a change this ending on my videos, letting you know about the channel and fair use laws, you know, how we can report on other people's reporting and how it's good, how it's bad, etc. But you guys can look it up yourself. It is legal. It's in there. But like I've told you before, that I've been cut off from making money on YouTube for 4 years. It's really weird, bizarre, but they cut the money off, but they said you can keep the channel, and now YouTube makes all the money. And if you get bored, plug it into Social Blade website, and you'll see that they are making a huge amount off the site. Right now it's at 63 million views, 53,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views a month. You know, trying to wake people up, and I make nothing. In fact, I got a customer that's ex-congressman. He said if I could ever find a lawyer, sue YouTube on it. But because this is nuts, 4 hours a day, and to save America. You know, but at the same time, it's worth it. Look at what our founding fathers did. They died for this country. So, but getting back to the money part, this is why I'm redoing the video. Is my dream of everyone giving $1, and it's going to be $53,000 a year, or if they did Patreon, which you know, can be monthly. That is not working. That'd be great if it did. Nothing is perfect. And I appreciate the people that do donate, you know, what they can on PayPal, and there again, I'm letting you guys know that is not much. Is, you know, monthly is, oh my god. So anyways, yes, you cannot live on it. It's very, very, very low amount. But the dollar things, I do appreciate that. But when I first said everybody give $1, that's not working. I'm just letting you guys know it's, yeah, that dream. Everybody gives $1. 53,000 subscribers, it's not working. So yes, if you can give more than that, you know, I appreciate it. Like I said, you know, I'm in a unique situation where, you know, we're already debt free, and I'm not rich, but with the little business that we have, I am able to do what I am able to do 45 hours a day, you know, letting you guys know what's going on. In 4 years, I've did the whole thing myself. 12,000 videos on there. I literally get emails where people are like, holy crap, I never knew it was this bad. And it is this bad, and it's getting worse every day because we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have cameras everywhere now, and it's just disgusting what's going on. And then, as you guys know too, we got Trump, we got Jeff Sessions doing a war on drugs, and now he wants to go after the forfeiture laws again. It's just unfreaking real. So if you can give more than that dream of everybody giving $1, yeah, that old video, that's not working. They're not, they're just not. So anyways, if you can give more than that dream is not working. Hardly anybody is giving. There you go. So that's why I'm remaking the video. If you can give more than that would be great. And there again, like I said, the Patreon's there. There is some people on there that are starting to give, but there again, it's very, very low. And like I said, I don't want to get rich off of that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, you know, it's still so stinking corrupt. It's not even funny. My court case that I'm going to be paying out of my pocket myself with Charlotte County's coming up. They illegally looked me up and then posted all my information on LEOAFFAIRS website. They basically doxed me, however you want to say that. I forget what the word is, and they outed me, man. And that information on that site went out to 500 sheriffs, deputies, people that work at the jail, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, it is very, very scary, but we're going to do a federal case, 1983 case, violating freedom of speech. We have 17 cameras in the house now. We got 2 cameras in the car. I always carry a camera plus a cell phone. A lot of people are highly recommending I get a vest now. If I could, if the wife would let me, I would run for sheriff. We are trying to push the thing nationwide right now, where just to mix it up and to get the topics out there is register to run for sheriff, NPA, no party affiliation, as a write-in, and that is completely free, and you can participate in the elections. And there's a lot of stuff. We got a guy, James McLinnis in Pinellas County, Tampa, who almost won. He experienced the corruption himself. The story is unbelievable. Look him up. It's mind-blowing what they did. It pissed him off. He is very, very smart. He has way more money than I did. He ran for sheriff at the last 3 months last year in 2016 and almost won. He got all of the black vote. And the reason why he did that is because he ran in, I will not bust, we're in Florida, I will not bust anybody for weed anymore unless it's an ungodly huge amount, like pounds. And then he also ran in, no more victimless crimes, no more of this freaking road pirate bull crap. And then he was going to cut the budget by 30%. And when you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife has been saying, yes, I can, yes, I can't. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, you know, for 53,000 subscribers, that is not working. I'm just letting you guys know. Absolutely give way more than $1 a month. If you can, I appreciate anything. By the way, remember too, when you give that, PayPal takes like freaking 15 to 20%, so it's even worse than that. But, and there again, like I'm letting you guys know, it's way, what I get is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on it. I'm just, you know, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. That's federal court. Just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this corrupt cop. So there's another reason to give. We are going to be doing a deposition with this very corrupt. He was in a drug squad. He is a bad guy. He's on steroids. We heard steroids are rampant here. That's why their attitude is so bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's my money out of my pocket. So there's another reason to give, and give way more than $1 if you can. So keep that in mind. This is the new video, and I see, God, I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know that $1 a month from everybody is not working. They're not doing it. So if you can give more than that, please. So thanks. Keep it up. Share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.